Hello everybody, today I will present you 5 extremely powerful books which help me dramatically in understanding how to invest. Don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up. The first one is Expected Return, written by Antti Ilmanen. This book is relatively unknown, but is amazing because it provides you a tons of information about the 4 major asset classes and the 4 major strategies to invest. So you will not only enter into details on how to forecast expected return of each asset class, stocks, fixed income, currencies, and commodities, but it will even enter separately in how to invest in each major strategy. So it's something which is extremely rare to find in books. So I read this book when I was, a master student, and years later, during my PhD, while I was reading through tons of paper, I realized that a lot of papers which were published on top journal were presenting the same fund and the same rules which were previously written, which were previously defined by Antti Ilmanen in that book, which is really seminal and it provides a lot of content which was subsequently rediscovered by academics and which was published in top academics journal. And this guy, Antti Ilmanen, is not a random guy from the street. He's the head of the biggest Norway fund, and which is basically investing all the money coming from the oil production in Norway. Okay, so he's really managing many billions, and he's doing great work, extremely successful in real life, not just in theory. Second book I want to talk you about is the extremely famous The Intelligent Investor of Graham. This book is a classic. It's something which everybody has to read once in life if they want to understand how to invest in equity, because the book has a very smart approach about how to pick the right stocks. Basically, what the books tell you is to ignore about the dynamics of the stocks and to focus on fundamentals. Try to figure out if the fundamentals of a given firm are solid, if the firm has a long potential in terms of growth because the fundamentals are sound. And that's the reason why this book has an approach which is largely different from the vast majority of other books about investments, which indeed focus on only specific things like technical analysis or, for example, some few rules or some few indicators. This book is very solid, it's very simple because it's taught to teach you even if you're not an experienced investor, and so you don't need to have years and years of experience in the field in order to understand it. But the main goals, the main understanding of the books are sound and can be applied by each investor which is smart enough to grasp the theory which is presented here. The third book I want to recommend you is Financial Statement Analysis of Penman. Okay, this book is very different from any other accounting book I have ever read because it provides you a way to think about accounting, a way to value stocks, which is totally different from anything else I ever read, and really opening my horizons about how to find the value of a firm. So it's really complementary to the work of Graham, which I previously recommended you. So the 2 books together, they form an extremely powerful combo. So I highly recommend to read one after the other to maximize the benefits of the 2 books. And I think that the reason why this book is so smart is because it's basically challenging the common knowledge about finance and about accounting. And it tells you a lot of different ways to empower and to make your analysis more robust. That's the reason why it's so different from everything else I ever read. And the approaches which are presented works for real. They are applied by the most successful hedge fund worldwide, and they are a base which is extremely useful for each investor who is serious about learning. Now I want to present you the second best book I ever read about investments. And this book is brand new, and it was written by Marcos Lopez de Prado and is named Advances in Machine Learning. It sounds like it's not an investment book, but it's a machine learning book. But for real, it's not. It's a book about backtesting. If you want to assess if your strategy is working for real, if it has a real value or not, you have to backtest it. So you need a very robust backtesting system. That's very important because I've seen a lot of experts who tell you that they have a very powerful signal, they have very powerful strategy, but they provide no numbers, no guidance, nothing which is backed by a robust analysis to validate what they are saying. So this book provides you the state of the art about how to create a robust backtesting engine. And this is something you need. But beware that this is not a book for everybody. This book is fairly advanced and you need to have previous quantitative skills to enjoy this book and to appreciate the quality which is presented here. I enjoyed it, but don't forget they have PhD, so many years of experience in the field. So my recommendation is read this book after you have a quite solid base in machine learning and investments, but not before. And now, guys, the first one on the list. And this is not even an investment book. This is more, let's say, a philosophic book. But what it presents you is so valuable, so great, that really changed my life. And now when I'm facing an investment issue, I always think about this book, which I read minimum 12 times. Is probably my favorite book ever. And that's why I'm recommending you. Is The Art of War of Sun Tzu. I know, guys, what you're thinking about. Wall Street movie. Yes, they discovered it, but believe me, guys, this book is worth a ton of common trading books because, it's something which provide you guidance in life, is providing guidance about strategy in general. And I read tons of books about strategy, not just about investing. And this book has so many valuable concepts that I think that it will provide you a light to follow in life. Which book do you prefer? What do you think is most useful for your learning about investing? Do you know other books you want to share? Please leave a comment below and I will be very happy to answer you as soon as I can.